I said something profound tonight. Every now and then I kind of impress myself when my brain's actually working correctly and I can form a sentence. Quit laughing, it's not funny. So I saw this lady who was talking to this guy, and he's, I guess, a motivational speaker, and he is talking about all this why relationships don't work for this young lady. And some people have the gift of gab. They can say a lot without saying hardly anything, but they could talk for hours and not say anything. And it was kind of a little bit frustrating to me because he's the type of person, I'm not trying to be funny, but he's the type of person who could sell ice to an Eskimo. Her biggest problem is she gives to guys all the time and they use her. Okay. This is every woman's story. Every woman's story. Unless she's the type to not put up with it. She had positive male role models. Her dad might have taught her. He might have loved her and taught her, he's the first man who taught her how love is supposed to look. Or she didn't have any of those things and she learned self-love. Um, she has to realize that, well, one thing I did agree with what he said was, you have to give yourself the love. And she said, but it doesn't feel the same. In other words, it doesn't feel the same as giving to other people. No, it doesn't. It feels worse to give to other people because they don't appreciate it. How many times have I talked about that on this channel? People will take from you. Men are takers. Women are givers. Are there some men that are givers? Yes, I've never met them. Okay. Maybe I'll meet them before I die. Maybe that's not my destiny. I don't freaking know. But I've learned a lot from their horrible behavior, with the exception of the few men in the world who do not act that way. The few, we love you to pieces. Believe me, we love you. But for the ones that are monsters, which is the majority of them, they are takers. So it might temporarily feel good to give to them, but you're going to get kicked in your face as a thank you. So that should not be the goal. Give, 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 and get kicked in the face. Um, so this is what I said. Because he was going on and on and on. He could just talk in circles. Some motivational speakers are very intricate with everything they say, but it's like a spider web of words. Like, it's just too much. I'm more direct, and you're not going to sit here after I say what I need to say. You're not going to sit here and go, huh? She took me around the world and in the valley and up the mountains and through the mountain range, and then I ended up in another country. I'm not going to take you all over the place. We're just going to go straight from point A to point B. All right? I'm not going to swoon you with words and get you so confused you don't even know what your original thought was. That's kind of what some people do, and no, we're not doing that. So this is what I said, because he was just going on and on and on and around the mulberry bush. So this is what I said. Let's make this really simple. Most men are narcissists. They get spoiled rotten as boys. Society spoils them, and so do their partners. Their entitlement becomes taller than a skyscraper. As a result, the majority of them are takers, not givers. They come to take from you. That's why they make inappropriate sexual comments right away. They feel entitled to your body. Stop expecting narky takers to give you anything other than hell and drama. Learn that you are special and made in God's image. He loves you and is not a taker. He will teach you to love yourself. You can't even love the right man because you haven't learned to love yourself. I thought that was deep enough for me to share it with you all, because that's really the bottom line. If you get in a bad habit of giving and giving. That's what's wrong with these dudes in the first place. Everybody gives them and gives them and gives them and gives them. And like I said before, society teaches women, girls from a young age, and teenagers and young ladies, they are brainwashed to be a man's personal slave. Magazines do it, TV shows do it, talk shows do it, podcasts do it. Give, 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 give. Make sure your hair is on point, your makeup's on point, the way you talk is on point, the way you sit is on point, your dress is on point, the color of your dress is on point. Don't wear that nail polish, don't sit like that, don't talk like that, don't laugh like that. You know, don't talk about this too soon. It'll run him off. Only if he's the wrong man. If he's on the same page with her and she's not talking crazy, that might be a win-win for both of them. So don't freaking tell people what they should and should not do and how they should do it. Walk this way, talk this way. That's the reason these fools act the way they do. Because we've been playing the dance, doing the dance for too long. What happens during the holiday? Let's talk about the holiday time. Holiday time, women are supposed to do everything. Quotation marks, supposed to. You supposed to cook everything. You supposed to sweat your ass off over a hot stove, and all the men are supposed to sit in the living room, preferably with a beer in their hand or some other alcoholic beverage of his choice, and scream and yell at the TV during Christmas or Thanksgiving, scream at the TV while they're having a football game. This plays out in almost every single home in the United States. I don't know about other countries. I don't live there. I don't know. But in America, that's what plays out all the time. The women are supposed to be slaves, and men are the kings that are supposed to be served by the women. Okay? It's asinine and it's stupid. And it makes no sense. And that is another reason why men are takers, because they are taught to take. If they witness girls always giving, 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 why wouldn't they be takers? If she's going to give me everything, I'm going to take it. That makes logical sense. All right? You got to break traditions. The fact that he don't know how to cook is not an excuse. He could learn. He can learn. He could start small. He can make you dinner one day. Okay? He could watch YouTube. How to make a burger. How do I cook baked potatoes? What temperature should the oven be on? There's no excuse for him not to know. He can give instead of being a taker with his zipper down. Okay? She had also mentioned about lovers, and that's another problem. You giving up all this booty to these men, you're seeing them as potential bedmates instead of human beings who are trying to take advantage of you. These dudes are not here to get to know you, get into your mind. What's your favorite color? What are you ambitious about? What are you excited about? What are your passions? What's your goals for the future? Do you regret anything from the past? What have you learned from any mistakes that you made in the past? You know, where's your head at? What are your beliefs on this, that, and the other? Now, I don't mean hot topics. Stay away from hot topics because that I don't know why people insist on going there with religion and politics and things of that nature because it makes people go insane. They get angry, they start screaming and yelling, especially if they're brainwashed. They're going to fight for what they believe in, even though it's asinine. So your best bet, and it defies logic, they're going to still fight for it. Your best bet is to moonwalk backwards away from certain hot topics because it's too hot of a topic, okay? But they're takers, and we're taught to give. So, in essence, we teach them to continue to be takers. You got to break that cycle. And, you know, I'm going to tell you, I noticed this, and women could probably relate to this, okay? I noticed the second the weather gets warm, men start hunting hard. We've gotten rid of the cold weather. Women can relate to this, and I can see y'all shaking your head. Yes, yes, yes. She's talking the truth. Yes. Okay. The weather gets warm. Jackets and coats and gloves disappear. Shorts and t-shirts come out. More skin is out. The weather's warm. And men are on the hunt. They're always on the hunt, but they're especially on the hunt certain times of the year. When the weather gets, as soon as the weather gets warm, um, what other times? Holiday time. They're trying to milk you for the holiday. They're trying to get a free meal out of you because it's holiday time. And because you're a woman, you supposed to, quotation marks, supposed to cook. So hey, I might as well come over there and get a meal and get you for dessert. All right. So there's certain times of the year that they're hunting more than usual. All right. I'll give you a perfect example. The other day, I'm sitting in the car and I'm at a red light. Okay. I'm on the left and a guy is on my right in another lane, not too far from me. And I seen him checking me out and I basically ignored him because I'm very good at ignoring men because I already know where your head's at and I'm not interested, so go screw off. I'm not going to be rude about it. I try not to be rude about it, but I already see you studying me and I know where your head's at. I'm not stupid. So we're in our respective vehicles. I've got, it's nice outside. I got the windows down. He's got his window down. And I'm not on my phone as in texting or anything like that. I'm just glancing at my phone. I'm not driving, so I have my phone in my hand before y'all jump in my world. I'm not driving. I'm just sitting at the light. And I just casually picked up my phone, waiting for the light to change. Well, he's like, I don't hear it ringing. I said, what? I don't hear it ringing. I don't hear my phone ringing. I thought you was going to call me. And I just kind of smiled and ignored him and kept it moving, and then he went about his business. See what I'm saying? You so desperate that you gonna yell out your window to somebody in another car? He's hunting. The weather's getting warm. He's hunting. I don't want to be hunted. And if somebody's that bold to talk to you like that, baby, he talks to all the women like that. He's not exactly shy. Okay. He makes a habit of intruding in your personal space, intruding on what you're trying to do in the privacy of your own vehicle. He's used to stomping all through that. I'm going to do what I want to do. I don't care what you're trying to do. I'm trying to get laid. Okay. Yeah. Certain times of year, they get worse. I also remember, I don't know why this popped in my head recently, but I told you before that men of color are very brazen. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I've dealt with this my entire life. I know what I'm talking about. They're very bold, men of color. Not just black men, but a lot of times it is black men. And the guy that was yelling at me from out the window, yes, he's a brother. That's what they do. They're not shy about making their intentions known. They're just very bold and very brazen. Although dealt with it from men of other cultures that happen to be brown also. But mostly my experiences with black men, they're just bold. And I am, well, let me backtrack with this. So I watched another video where a guy is talking about all these things that sound fluffy, but we know it's bullshit. Men admire women that are graceful. When you come into the room and you kind of float in the room, and everybody notices your grace and your style and how you talk and the verbiage that you use and your sense of humor and how you communicate. Oh, shut up. That all sounds good on a Hallmark card. Well, the first thing they notice is how you carry yourself. Bullshit and triple layers of bullshit. First thing they notice is your tits. Let's be fucking real. We know the book, What Men Don't Want Women to Know. They don't notice your motherfucking personality through your goddamn clothing. Okay? Men are visual. They're looking at your tits. They're looking at your ass. They're looking to see if you got an apple booty. If a man is a leg man, he's looking to see how long your legs are. We ain't freaking stupid. Stop that stupid cry. No, they want to know how you communicate. That makes a man obsess over you. No, you are wrong. Maybe you don't look at women's body parts right out the gate, but every other man does. We don't want to hear that shit. We know how obsessed they are with that. We know how they can't get it out of their head. We know that they will cheat even though they got a woman at home. She's good to him. She's given him everything in the world, which is why he feels entitled. That's what we're taught to do, that stupid shit. Give, 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 and they're going to steal. Take, take, take. And he'll still cheat. He got a great woman at home. She cooks, cleans, lays him. She does everything in the world, and he would still cheat. I don't want to hear, Joey, we don't notice your grace and style and how you communicate. Stop. Stop. Come on now. Come on now. First thing they notice is your boobs. I don't want to hear it. Or your legs. They notice your body, period. Um. So anyway, I was in the store one time, and I have on whatever shirt I had on, I had a denim vest with it that covers the toddies. This brother is in the store. You can't really see my boobs because the vest is kind of covering them. Honey, he's staring at that vest so hard, like he's trying to dissolve the material with his eyeballs. That's gross. That's really gross. And you can ask 10 men, what color were her eyes or her hair? They can't tell you because they weren't looking there. Okay? Out of 10 men, there might be one man who's observant and not a pervert. Imagine that. He'll be like, yeah, I could tell you right out the gate. Her eyes were brown and her hair was she was a brunette. But most men can't, they can't tell you that. Even men that are married, they know everything about their wife. She might have done, they did a social experiment on this on a talk show one time. The wives had different, like different things going on, like different makeup, or her hair color was different, or the style of her clothing was different, whatever. The husbands didn't notice. Men are not observant. They're only observant for perverted things. They're not really observant for other things. There are exceptions to the rule. Not every person acts the same. But come on. We know where their priority is. We ain't stupid. And if we didn't know how bad it was, we learned how bad it was with the book, What Men Don't Want Women to Know. His staring at that vest that I had on was just invasive, brazen, and gross and obvious. What do you expect my breasts to do? Jump out of my vest, my shirt, and my bra and do cartwheels in front of your face? What exactly do you expect them to do? Say hi to you and start waving and giggling? What are you fucking looking at? What are you looking at? With that being said, when women do it, it's gross. Either way, the gender makes no difference. If you're being that bold, you're disgusting. Okay? There's a gay guy who's a YouTuber. I used to watch him until he started bragging about how much he was raised on the Bible, and now he don't want nothing to do with that. He don't believe in God and all this other, and I stopped watching him because that was a turnoff. He's gay. He's a muscle man. He's got all these. His muscles have muscles. He always wears tank tops because he needs to advertise to everybody how big, how big he is and how muscular he is. Well, he went to the gym. People don't know he's gay. He's very masculine. He does, you know what I mean? Like there's men that are masculine that are gay and you would never know it. And then there's feminine gay guys and it's obvious. With him, he's more masculine, so you would never think that he was gay. And I don't know what he was wearing, if he was wearing something tight or whatever, but some women in the gym made some comment about his penis, and they're staring at it. And I don't know if he had tight shorts on. I'm not really sure what he had on. And they made a comment to him about his pecker. And I'm like, really? That's disgusting. What is wrong with you? Why do you feel that you can verbally, sexually, or not verbally, well, yeah, verbally or visually sexually assault someone? What makes you think that's okay? It don't matter if you're a man or a woman. It's both is out of line. Disgusting, perverted, and out of line. Do you need to get a toy on Amazon? Because there's plenty of toys on there. And you can even watch YouTube videos, women who have tried certain toys, and they'll tell you which ones are the best. If you're that fucking hot. Because you don't need to be invading someone's personal space. Number one, he ain't interested in you fools, no way. He's more interested in men's. Okay, with a Z, men's. Number one. Number two, you're visually and verbally assaulting someone sexually. It's an assault. It's not welcomed. 9 times out of 10, it's not welcomed. And it damn sure ain't welcomed by him because he ain't interested in you. You're not a man. So right out the gate, you lose. It's just inappropriate. Very, very, very inappropriate. Oh, wow. But anyway, so yeah, you can't give love to somebody else if you cannot give it to yourself. She might have been the original lady I was talking about. She might have been a people pleaser. Or maybe her parents were abusive and she did the thing that a lot of us tried to do that didn't work. We try to please our parents so that we don't get abused anymore. If I give you enough love, which is illogical, right? If I give you enough love, you'll learn to love me back. And we fall into those patterns as adults. And we do that as adults, and it never works. You know, it never works. I'm going to love you harder so that you can appreciate me. I'm going to teach you how to love. I'm going to love you hard enough to take all your pain away. That doesn't work. You can't heal somebody with your heart. If a person cannot accept your love, they can't accept your love. There's nothing miraculous or magical that you're going to do that's going to make their heart soft, and now they're no longer an arrogant, perverted narcissist. Now they're actually a nice person with their heart open for love. You can't make somebody make that drastic change. And, and giving all that love to all these people, there's nothing left for you to give yourself because you're depleted. Number one. Number two, you give that to the wrong person. They may not only take everything you have, but they will also take your life. So you died stuck in the giving mode. What did you accomplish? Nothing. And you got iced. Your soul was taken from your body because you gave to the wrong person and you were stuck in this Niagara waterfall of giving. That's got to stop. That has got to stop. It's not appreciated. It's not respected. You're trying to give love in order to get love back. It's almost a form of manipulation. I'm going to keep giving until you learn to love me. That don't work. It never works. It don't. We got to break the slavery pattern. We have to break cooking and cleaning and doing men's laundry and auditioning to be a wife and all this other crap. We have to let that go. Let it go. Either a person wants you or they don't. You don't have to do a cartwheel, a flip in the air. You don't have to clean every day. They're just going to, you're teaching a taker to be a bigger taker and a better taker. That does not work in your favor. They will take everything from you and leave you on the ground. They won't even say thanks for everything. They'll just skip away and take from the next person and the next person and the next person. First thing they notice is your grace when you You glide into the room, and it was almost laughable what he was saying. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. No, they don't notice that. They notice your boob size. They notice how short you are or how tall you are, and they're trying to get a glimpse of your rear end. Men do not think like women. Now, if he's unique and he doesn't notice the physical first, good on him. But otherwise, he's just online talking a good game. And it's not even viable. What he's saying is not even, it's just ridiculous. They notice your communication style? No, the hell they don't. Let's stop being silly. We know what they notice. It does have nothing to do with that. you know? And like I said, if you would ask any guy who's talking to a woman that he's attracted to, what color were her eyes, he can't tell you. He can't freaking tell you because his eyes were everywhere else. His eyes were everywhere else. I'm going to tell you this one thing, and I'm going to let you guys go. I was online friends with this dude for the longest time, and he can't stop talking about how much he loves his girlfriend, his girlfriend, his girlfriend. I don't know if he's trying to convince me or trying to convince him. He sent me a picture of himself. And I was like, oh, okay, I get to see what you look like. Well, remember, he can't stop bragging about how much he loves his woman. Okay? And then one day I went in this is when we had the big old box computers. They were huge. And I went in there and I started deleting things so it wouldn't be clogged up with a bunch of stuff I don't pay attention to no way. So I went in there and just started getting rid of pictures and a lot of stuff. And I saw the picture he sent me. And for the first time, I noticed that something was different about this picture. And I'm staring at it. And I'm like, what the hell? He was nude. I didn't notice that the first time. The way the lights were and the shadows were in the room, you couldn't tell that he didn't have nothing off. You just glance at the picture quickly, you wouldn't really pay attention to that. You wouldn't notice that. But the way the lighting was in the room, in order for you to notice that he's naked, you would have to look at it closer. And for the first time second time I saw his picture, I'm like, wait a minute, what is going on? I expanded the picture and I'm like, oh shit, he doesn't have any clothes on. I never noticed that before because the lighting was strategically done to where you wouldn't notice that right out the gate. But he loves his woman so much. Mm-hmm. Sure you do. Sure you do. Wow. Wow. I'm going to tell you this other thing before I go, okay? This lady was on Dr. John Deloney. I told you about him before. He's great. Delony. Dr. John Deloney. He's got like 2 PhDs. He's been a counselor for many years, the whole bit. Smart as a whip, okay? People call in with problems. He answers them on his show, on the podcast, live podcast. Anyway, this lady calls in and she found out that her dad is not her dad. She also, I don't know, honey, she went in detective mode. I don't know how she found out, but honey, she found out that A, her dad is not her dad, and B, her actual dad, her mom had a brief affair, supposedly one-time affair, with a Catholic priest. He is her father. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I said, well, I put this in the comments. I said, well, there goes his vows of celibacy right out the window. Wow. Your world got flipped upside down. If your dad's a good dad, the one who raised you, I don't know if he needs to know the truth. Because if he's a good dad, that will devastate him for the rest of his life. And he may do a downward spiral, and God only knows where that goes. Not good places, okay? Everybody don't need to know everything, especially if it could potentially harm them in a very, very bad way if they're a good person. He don't need to become an alcoholic now or be want to end himself, and you know what I'm saying? Like, this could go all kinds of crazy, so yeah, I don't think I would ever tell him. There's no need. I mean, what would be the purpose? Because it would destroy him. If he truly loves you with his heart, it would destroy him. So, anyway, you guys take care. Much love. Bye.